Are you wondering when Social Security and disability payments will be made for October 2023? Are you also anxious about news about Social Security and disability benefits? Well, this is what this post is about. Hello, I'm Kwame Kwade. I am a Social Security and disability expert, and today I am going to give you the Social Security payment dates for October 2023. In addition, I have three news updates for you that have come in that you want to wait for. So stay till the end of this video to see the three news updates that I have for Social Security. So let's get right into it. So this is pretty much what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to give you the Social Security payment dates for October, both for Social Security retirement benefits, for SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance, and then for Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI. And then if you did not get your benefits, I am going to give you a few points on what to do if you haven't received your benefits this month. If you were expecting money from Social Security and it did not come through, I am going to give you some tips on what to do. Then, as I mentioned, I have three Social Security news updates for you. The first one is about the 2024 Social Security cost of living adjustment that is going to be announced very soon by the Social Security Administration. And next, I want to talk about Social Security overpayment. A lot of people have been receiving letters from the Social Security Administration asking them to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in Social Security overpayments that they did not even know about or did not even know they were receiving until they get this letter in the mail. So I want to make sure that you are aware of what's going on with overpayments. And then lastly, there is a big article that came out of the New York Times talking about how Social Security is not catching up. The Social Security cost of living is not catching up with inflation. So I wanted to talk to you about what they are recommending to do in order to protect your Social Security benefits from being eroded by inflation. So if you're new to this channel, if you're new to our channel, I want to urge you to subscribe to our channel because we are all about updating you on what is happening with Social Security and disability benefits, whether it's happening in Congress or out of Congress. Anything that's going to affect your benefits positively or negatively, we want to be the first to bring it to you. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All right, so let's get right to it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is how Social Security benefits payments work. So, if you're on Social Security retirement benefits or you are on SSDI, here is how the schedule works. If your birthday falls on the 1st to the 10th of the month, then you're going to receive your benefit payments on the second Wednesday of the month. If your birthday falls on the 11th to the 20th, then your Social Security or SSDI payments are going to come in on the third Wednesday of the month. And if your birthday falls on the 21st to the 31st of the month, if there is a 31st, then your payments, your Social Security retirement benefits, or your SSDI benefits will be sent to you on the fourth Wednesday of the month. So now, how does Social Security payments work for SSI? Well, if you're on SSI, which is the Supplemental Security Income, your payments are sent on the first and third of the month, unless that day falls on a weekend or a holiday. So now let's look at the payments for this month. For October 2023, SS Social Security and SSDI payments are going to be paid on October 11th if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th. As I explained before, if your birthday falls on the 11th to the 20th, then you're going to get your payments on the 18th of October. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st of October, then your Social Security or SSDI benefits are going to come in on the 25th. Now, if you started receiving Social Security before May 1997, then your payments are always sent on the 3rd of the month. So it's going to be October 3rd. Now, for SSI payments, As I mentioned, it's sent on the first of each month or the third. The first, unless it's a weekend or a holiday. So since the 1st of October is on a weekend, the payment should have been sent on Friday, September 29th, 2023. Now, there are a group of people that get benefits on the 3rd of each month, unless it falls on a weekend or a holiday. And these are people who live outside the US who are receiving Social Security SSI benefits, or your state pays for your Medicare premium, or you have filed Social Security before 1997. Now, if you did not get your benefits, if you have filed for Social Security and you've been receiving benefits, and all of a sudden something happened and you are not getting your benefits, then there are three things you can do. The first is that wait 3 additional days, ideally business days, until after your due date. So if your due date is today, wait 3 more business days before you call Social Security. So the next step is to call Social Security at the number that I've shown is 1-800-772-1213. And then if you call them and you're not getting any feedback, or you are not getting a good explanation of why your benefits have not arrived, one of the things you can do is to log into your Social Security account online and see if you are not a victim of overpayment or cancellation. Because if you've been receiving Social Security overpayment, you may have received a letter saying that your benefits may be stopped. And so that may be a reason why your benefits may not arrive. So just make sure that you log in and see what's happening. So now, that is the Social Security payment dates for October 2023. And as I promised, I was going to give you some news on what's happening in the realm of Social Security and disability. So let's start. The first one is Social Security COLA update. As I mentioned, Social Security COLA is the cost of living adjustment is going to be announced on October 12th. This is kind of what we call the Social Security raise. Everybody on Social Security benefits or disability benefits looks forward to this, because this is supposed to be the increase each year that, you know, accounts for inflation. So last year, if you're on Social Security or disability, you got a 8.7% raise because inflation was high last year. Well, this year, since inflation has been coming down, the COLA amount is also coming down. So it's estimated, it's not official, it's been estimated that it's going to come down to 3.2%, which is more than half and more than 50% drop from what you got last year. So that is the update on the Social Security cost of living. And here are a few things that you need to keep in mind about Social Security COLA. Number one, it is announced, it's going to be announced on October 12th. It is based on the government looking at price increases, what we call the Consumer Price Index for urban wage and clerical workers, CPIW. That it all it means is that the government looks at prices of goods and services that affects the average person. They look at it from July to September each year, and then they compare it to the July and September prices from last year. If there's been an increase in prices this year, then you're going to get a bump. If there is no increase, you're not going to, then everything stays flat. If prices went down, they are not going to take money from you. Nobody is going to, by law, they cannot reduce your Social Security or disability benefits due to deflation. If there's inflation, they have to adjust your benefits up. If nothing happens at all, then they keep your benefits the same, but they cannot reduce it. As I said, last year was historic because it was 8.7% increase. Well, this year is going to be much lower. That number that was supposed to say 2023 instead of 2022. So on average, if the 3.2% that is forecasted holds, then Social Security benefits, retirement benefits are going to increase by about $57.30 a month. The next thing I want to talk about in terms of news is Social Security overpayment. We have a whole video that we recorded about that. So I'm going to link to that video after this video is over so that you can check that out. But Social Security overpayment is a big, big issue right now because the Social Security Administration has $21.6 billion in overpayments that they are trying to collect back, mostly from people on Social Security disability. So if you're on disability, pay attention to this. So what's been happening is that Social Security has been making payments to people higher than they're eligible for a variety of reasons. And so they're sending letters to people threatening them with withholding part of their benefits or all of their disability benefits into the future until the overpayment is paid back to the government. Well, because of the size of the number, 21.6 billion, and the fact that it's affecting the vulnerable people, elderly, the poor, the disabled, who have no means to really pay that money back. The video that I'm mentioning, you should check it out. There are people who are getting letters for $27,000, $41,000 that they're supposed to pay back in 30 days, or their benefits are going to be reduced or even taken altogether for a period of time. Well, it has caused a lot of anxiety for people, a lot of stress, and Congress is stepping in to rein some of that in. So the Social Security Administration is under pressure to review their overpayment recovery practices and implement something that is more in line with what the people that they are targeting are able to handle. So that is overpayments on the news front. And then lastly, we have the New York Times talking about how to protect your Social Security from inflation. Now, because of the record inflation we've had the last few years, it is a fact that prices have gone up for a lot of things, for transportation, for housing, for healthcare, and the cost of living adjustment for Social Security and disability have not really caught up, at least in certain areas, especially with medical care, where the jump in prices has been so astronomical, food prices. And so, what this article is saying is that there are ways that you can protect your social security benefits. There are tips that you can use. There are techniques that you can utilize to protect your social security benefits from inflation that looks to be something that is becoming very rampant and has stayed around for a longer period than people really expected. So what are some of these ideas that you can use to protect or extend your social security benefits? Well, the New York Times is saying that number one, the record inflation is eroding the buying power of retirement assets over time, which is true. Major expenses like healthcare and housing are playing a big role in making things very difficult for seniors and people on disability. And so, if you're a senior planning for retirement or in retirement, holding some equities, which means stocks, in your portfolio may help fight against inflation. This is the New York Times saying that, but it's not a perfect hedge, but at least it will help you. So, talk to your financial advisor on how you can use stocks to hedge against this. And again, I am not a financial advisor. I don't play one online. This is an article I am referencing from the New York Times on techniques that they've talked to experts about on how you can protect your retirement from rampant inflation. So, other ideas is that usually it is recommended that if you've saved money for retirement, that you are withdrawing 4% a year to live off of. Well, now they're saying that maybe 3% may be the number. So if you're about to retire, it kind of informs you on how much you need to save, knowing what 3% of that is going to be. And then, for example, if you have $100,000, 3% of that is 3,000. So that is what is suggested. So if your living expensive is going to be more than 3,000, then it means you need to save more than 100,000 to be able to get 3% out of it. It means that you're getting 3% return on your investment. So you're putting it into something that will give you more than 3% return. And then you're living off of that 3% and keeping that 100,000. This is just an example. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to explain what this New York Times article is saying. And then they're also recommending that perhaps you delay your retirement The full retirement age for a lot of people now is 67. Maybe you delay it to 70 because you get more money when you delay up to 70. But at 67, if your full retirement age is at 67, you get the maximum that is you're due for. So these are some of the techniques that the New York Times is recommending in that article that I shared about how to protect your benefits from rampant inflation. So that is what I have for you today. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you are the first to know when we release next month's Social Security payment dates and any news updates we have for you to keep you up to date on anything that's happening in and out of Congress that may affect your benefits. So hit that like button. And until the next time, if you have any questions at all about payment dates, if you've not received your benefits, whatever it is that you have questions about regarding Social Security or disability benefits, hit us up on the comment section below. We'll be happy to answer your question. And until the next time, we will see you in the next video.